But God doesn't do that. All right? God says that I banish you. And then Cain says, if you do that, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Today you have driven me from the soil, and I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and anyone who meets me may kill me, okay? So people will know that I've left my community, I must have done something wrong, and therefore they may kill me. And God says, okay, I'm going to put a mark on you, and this will protect you, so that no one who came upon him would kill him. Then Cain went away from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden, okay? So again, this is a God of forgiveness, of reconciliation, of compromise, of debate. Cain says, your punishment is unfair. And then most gods would be like, screw you, man. I'm God. I can do whatever you want. But this God's like, you know what? You make a good point. Look, I have reflected and I recognize that I shouldn't have said that your brother is better than you, okay? I recognize that this is partly my fault. So as a compromise, I will protect you. Okay? This is, again, a revolutionary idea. This was written 3,000 years ago, okay? Today we think, okay, this is a very common concept. But remember, in the Iliad, the major problem is one of forgiveness. And in the Bible, this is a God of forgiveness, okay? He's kind of silly, but he's not perfect. And what he's telling us that perfection is not a possibility. What is a possibility, what we should all try to do is try to reflect and improve ourselves. Okay, and this is a theme throughout the Bible. So as humanity continues to develop, God looks down and says, you know what? These humans, I designed them to be creative, to do wonderful things, but they're killing themselves. They're enslaving each other, exploiting each other. This is stupid. I need to start over, okay? So he creates a flood. But there's one person on the earth that he thinks is a noble person, Noah, right? So he says, Noah, build an ark and save yourself. So Noah builds an ark and he saves himself. And then after the flood recedes, Noah comes and rebuilds humanity. And then God looks down to Noah and says, you know what? I will never again curse the ground because of humankind. For the inclination of the human heart is evil from youth, nor will I ever destroy every living creature as I've done. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. This is God saying, oops, I made a mistake again, okay? I didn't like the evil that humans were creating on this earth, and therefore I want to wipe evil from this earth. But you know what? If I give them free will, if they have that fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, then yeah, some of them are going to make mistakes, okay? And it's something that I'm going to have to put up with. So he promised Noah and humanity, I will never do this again. If you guys do evil, well, you're going to have to solve this problem yourself. I'm not going to come and solve it for you. All right? It was my mistake to make everyone suffer like this. I will never do this again. All right? So humanity is rebuilt, and of course humans go back to being evil. Starting wars, enslaving each other, exploiting each other. So then God's like, you know what? What I need to do is this. I need to build a nation that is the best nation, and which will be a great example to everyone. And this nation I will call Israel, okay? So he looks around the earth, and he discovers a name named Abraham. And Abraham is the patriarch of the nation of Israel, but he's also the patriarch of the religions of Christianity and Islam, okay? So Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are considered the Abrahamic faiths because they all think Abraham is their patriarch or their forefather. And so Yahweh says to Abraham, I will make a covenant with you. I will make a contract with you where I will favor you, but you must swear loyalty to me. You must promise me that your people will be loyal to me. They will worship me only, okay? And that's a covenant, the Abrahamic covenant. Now what's interesting is the relationship between Abraham and Yahweh. Okay? You would think that Abraham would just be a slave and a servant to Yahweh. But that's not actually what happens, okay? So let's read the story. So what happens is this. God promised to not destroy the earth, but then he's like, yeah, but then there's some places that are so evil, I need to destroy them to teach everyone a lesson, okay? So this place is called Sodom and Gomorrah. And Sodom and Gomorrah is known for its wickedness. So God sends men, okay, angels, to Sodom and Gomorrah to destroy it. Abraham is shocked by this. So Abraham's like, yeah, but you can't destroy everyone, okay? So what happens, and this is really interesting, is that Abraham and Yahweh start having a debate. And Abraham pleads with Yahweh to change his mind. Okay? So Abraham says to Yahweh, will you indeed sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous within the city. Will you then sweep away the place and not forgive it for the 50 righteous who are in it? Far be it from you to such a thing, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous fare as the wicked. Okay? He's saying, Yahweh, you're making a mistake. Think about that, okay? A mortal is telling a God, you're making a mistake. But not only that, but Yahweh's like, yeah, I think you're right, okay? So they agree. So Abraham says, if there's 50 people who are righteous, you cannot destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And God says, you're right. If I find 50 righteous, I will forgive everyone. Okay? So Yahweh agrees with Abraham. At this point, you would think that Abraham's like, yes. Okay, and then he would run away. But he doesn't do that. He keeps on arguing. He says, yeah, but let's just say there's 45. Okay? 45. Suppose 5 of the 50 are lacking. If there's only 45, we can't find 50. Don't you think we should still forgive Sodom and Gomorrah? And God's like, that's a good point. Yeah, so, 45 is good as well, okay? And he keeps on going on and on until they get to 10. For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it, okay? This is what Yahweh promises Abraham. So in other words, it's not that Yahweh and Abraham, it's not like master servant, it's more like friend. Because what a friend does is, a friend is honest with you. A friend tries you to tell you the truth. A friend tries to get you to be better, okay? So what Abraham's saying to Yahweh is like, I know you're a virtuous God, but sometimes you make mistakes. So it's important for me to argue with you, okay? And that's why Judaism is such a powerful religion, because the basis of Judaism is debate and argument and questions, okay? Debate and questions. Why are Jews so creative? It's this simple, guys. Jews are encouraged to debate each other to figure out what is truly right. There is no absolute truth. It's always a process of asking questions, open debate, and self-reflection. Okay? All right. So eventually what happens is that, Abraham will give birth, will have a son named Isaac. And Isaac will have 2 sons, Esau and Jacob. Jacob's name will eventually become Israel. So Israel is founded by Jacob. What will happen is that Jacob is the younger son, Esau is the older son. So you would think that Esau would inherit everything from Isaac. But Jacob and his mother, Rebekah, schemes and steals from Esau. Okay, they trick Isaac and they steal the birthright from Esau. So now Esau is pissed off at Jacob. So Jacob has no choice but to run away. Okay, he runs away and he meets a relative. Okay, and what follows next is the greatest love story in the Bible. You can also argue it's the greatest love story ever in human history. Okay, and what's amazing about the story is how simple it is. But once we start analyzing, you will discover that it's actually a very complex story. All right, it's a beautiful, complex, and sophisticated story. All right, Laban, who's a relative, says to Jacob, "You're my kinsman. Should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what shall your wages be?" Okay, so Jacob's running away from his brother, and he finds safety with Laban. And he offers to work for Laban, but Laban said, "Listen, I can't just enslave you. So you work for me and I'll give you whatever you want," okay? And then Jacob says, Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were lovely, and Rachel was graceful and beautiful. Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, "I will serve you 7 years for your younger daughter Rachel." Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than I should give her to anyone else." So yeah, I agree to this deal, okay? It's a contract now. All right? Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of the love he had for her, okay? So he loves her so much that 7 years is nothing to him, okay? Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife so that I may go into her, for my time is completed." So Laban gathered together all the people of the place and made a feast. But in the evening, he took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob, and he went into her. When morning came, it was Leah. And Jacob said to Leah, what is it that you have done to me? Did I not serve you for Rachel? Why then have you deceived me? Laban said, this is not done in our country. Give the younger before the firstborn. Complete the week of this one, and we will give you the other also in return for serving me another 7 years. Jacob did so and completed her week. Then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel as a wife. So Jacob went into Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah. He served Laban for another 7 years, okay? This again is a beautiful love story, and it doesn't sound like it, okay? But let's go into the complexity of it. Okay, first of all, clearly Laban deceived Jacob, right? But did he mean to in the beginning? The answer is no, okay? The question then is, why did he do so? And the answer is, Rachel and Leah are sisters, right? And therefore, they probably hate each other. They're in competition with each other. So when Jacob says to Laban, I love Rachel, but not Leah, Leah now is pissed, right? So what do you think she did for 7 years? For 7 years, she just pestered her father and says, hey, am I not your daughter? Am I not your firstborn? Will you let me be insulted and humiliated like this? If Jacob were to marry Rachel, who will ever want to marry me? And Laban's a father, okay? And he doesn't want to deal with this crap. So he's like, how do I get out of this mess? Well, what I'll do is I'll trick Jacob and first give him Leah, and then I'll give him Rachel. And how does he know this? Because he knows that Jacob loves Rachel, right? Laban's able to stand far away and look at how Jacob looks at Rachel.